The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Heart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Heart for the City. I'm Quentin Hart, proud Mayor of Waterloo, and I am here once again to remind you of the many wonderful and exciting events coming with this season's weather. There are parades, concerts, festival, art exhibits, fairs, farmers markets, museums, and sporting events, and that is not all. These are all high quality and guaranteed to captivate participants and spectators alike. On another matter, and not to get too much into civics, but is important for Waterloo. Like all other municipalities, we get our authority to make legislation as granted by the state of Iowa. But like all layers of government, federal, state, county, and municipalities, there is a separation of powers among the three branches of executive, legislative, and judicial. But how does the city of Waterloo benefit from state political activities? Stay tuned as we explore some answers on this topic after this.
Wow. College already.
Yeah. We gotta go.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. And thanks for everything.
Gratitude. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
In March of 2016, State Representative Deborah Berry announced she would not run for re-election to the Iowa House District 62. The district consists of the northern part of Waterloo, Evansdale, Elk Run Heights, and Raymond. Ms. Berry served 7 terms in the State House, and she stated in her announcement that more elected officials should step down to give opportunities to new, bright, intelligent young folks who have new ideas. And in that regard, she endorsed Democratic Roz Smith. Roz Smith is 29 years old, of Waterloo, and he did run and now occupies that seat vacated by former Representative Deborah Berry. And I have the privilege today, the great privilege and honor of introducing our current state representative of House District 62, who's in Deb's own words is a young, bright, high-achieving family man who comes from a family that have been very active in our community. So we welcome we welcome Representative Smith to the show today. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I am great. There may be some folks that may not know you, but everyone pretty much does. But can you tell us about a little bit about yourself? And are you a native of Waterloo? If your parents had an impact on you or influence or family?
Yeah, definitely. I'm born and raised here in Waterloo. I grew up over on Oliver in East 4th. And, for me, being from here, this is home. I love it. I understand my family is deeply rooted here. My mom came over from Chicago with her family, my dad from Mississippi, and throughout that, they brought a lot of those lessons with them of hard work. My dad from being down south, and my mom, some of the challenges that urban communities face.
Right.
So, she's a pastor at the church that I attend, Faith Temple Baptist Church, and I got involved early in the church, making sure that I tried to follow some of the principles that not only she instilled in me and my siblings, but making sure that we reach out and bring everybody else up with us.
Right,
And my dad worked at John Deere for 47 years.
Right.
Started off in the foundry, so that taught me the principles of being steady.
Right.
Understanding how to work through adversity. Even if you don't like the job some days, you come and do your best. So.
Right.
They had a lot of influence on me and my community as a whole. Waterloo's diverse, and it taught me to love everything and love everybody.
Right, all right. And did they have a role in your decision to run for office, or? Or did they say, what are you thinking about?
It was different from my dad, for sure. He was a little bit hesitant,
Right.
For him, politics, the political game has always been one that's can be messy at times.
Right.
My mom is a social activist, always has been. So for me, she was comfortable with it. She gave me some tools, understanding I don't have to change my approach.
Right.
There's a spot for social activism in the political realm.
Right.
And if nothing else, I think President Obama showed us that when the political and the social collide, that's when we actually do right by the people.
Right. And you also attended the University of Northern Iowa.
That's correct.
What was your major?
So my undergrad was my undergrad was kinesiology. Graduate school was leisure, youth, and human services. And my emphasis was really on youth services, making sure that if we take care of our kids, the rest kind of, takes care of itself. So.
Right. And are you currently in school again? Or?
So finished up, excited to be done.
Right.
Excited to start paying back some of those student loans once that time frame comes up.
I think that if that was a text message, it would be LBVS, laughing but very serious.
Very serious.
Right. And master's degree you're working towards as well. And so out of that experience from your family, from your education and growing up here, it's still something when you take that step to run for an office. And kind of what was the thinking behind that, or?
The biggest draw for me was the fact that, starting off graduating college, I was lucky enough to get a job at Target Distribution and was a manager out there and worked with people, and I love that aspect of the job.
Right.
But I wasn't really cut out for the corporate hierarchy. It wasn't something that I thought was really played well to my personal strengths.
Right.
I enjoyed the job, had a really great manager, and then moved on to work for Four Oaks. And in that job, I found I was still really reactive to everything. Right. Even the job I do now currently, as a site coordinator at Carver Academy for communities and schools, I find myself just being reactive. So running for office really gave me an opportunity to be at the front side of that, put some things in place so that we can set people up for success as opposed to reacting to their failures. Right.
So when you think about running for office and being in that position, I assume it's more than just a job.
Oh, definitely so. It's it's something that the things that I do now are causes I would have been fighting for regardless.
Right. And one of the causes that you have fought for years from the time you went to Four Oaks to your current job is dealing with youth.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and background dealing with young people?
So kind of like I stated a little bit earlier, though, in the church, I started off with some of our youth programming, whether it's just mentoring young people in the community, making sure that they need a rite of practice, we get them there, fostering the things that they want to do to help them be successful. But, when I was a strength coach at East High, that really kind of opened my eyes to see that no matter where our kids are coming from, there's challenges they all have to face.
Right.
So for me, I wanted to make sure I could help give them the tools that were given to me to help them be successful. And I think in our community, the youth are our future. Iowa's a state in which our population is not growing a whole lot.
Right.
So we have to make sure that we are sending out high caliber, high quality young people into our workforce here.
And then making sure that they have an experience when they do grow up, they may go to a college somewhere, but they're going to come back home because they had a great opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Last couple years, you do a lot of speaking as well, and probably that's accelerated even more so, this past year. But one particular conference that you speak at is the African American Family and Children's Conference for Children and Families for 2 consecutive years about microaggression.
Right.
Can you quickly tell us about microaggression?
Microaggressions are those instances that you go through on a daily basis where it may be a one-off comment that you didn't think of, or the way somebody follows you to the store or looked at you. One example we always use is you get into the elevator and that little old lady takes her purse and she kind of tucks it a little closer to her side. That's a microaggression. Or somebody saying, "Oh, well, you're really well spoken."
Right.
Those things that happen every day that we don't always think about, but actually impact our self-esteem and our psyche.
Right. So next time when the little lady clutches her purse, you're going to say, "You know what? I was going to put some money in there, but I'm
now I'm going to hold on to it."
What committees are you currently serving on in the legislature?
I currently serve on the Education Committee, Judiciary, and Transportation. Also on the Transportation Infrastructure Budget Subcommittee.
Okay. And have you worked on any bills in your short term, or?
I have. I've had some that were a little bit disheartening that they didn't make it to the floor or even really
sometimes
committee.
people don't know what's good for them. Yeah,
Exactly. But we're still working on that.
Right.
But I would have to say the bill that I worked on, I was on the subcommittee for, was probably an alternative to the high set. I think that's a huge win for our state.
Right.
Giving people who may
And the
have
high set is like an equivalency to what we used to have as a GED,
Exactly.
general education degree for high school students to test out of.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So letting people use their experience to better their lives.
Right. So how can people on the local level help to kind of help you to be more successful on the state level, have more success? Is there something that we need to do as citizens within this community?
That's a question it's tough because for me, my success is really dependent on how our community achieves,
Right.
how our community succeeds.
Right.
So for me, I want people to make sure that they're doing what's in their best interest by being informed and educated.
Right.
We saw a lot of people vote against their own self-interest this last election cycle, not even knowing so.
Right.
And that's dangerous. So I want to make sure people stay informed and educated about what the issues are. And, you make me a better legislator when I'm held accountable.
Right. Right.
So those are the things I would always ask for from the community.
All right. And if folks want to get in contact with you?
They can check me out at rossmith62.com. Also look at our Facebook, our Twitter.
Okay.
Feel free to reach out. I try to make myself available. If you shoot me a message on
Okay.
Facebook, I try to make sure I get back to you.
Right. Well, you have, in a very short time, done some amazing things. You've advocated on behalf of your community. We absolutely thank you for stopping by for Heart for the City, and we look forward to even greater success moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you for all you do.
All right. Well, I hope that you'll be able to come back again sometime and fill us in on all that is happening in the State House and elsewhere as well.
Definitely. So hopefully next year I come back with some better news.
All right. Okay. In the midst of the great things going on in Waterloo, there are some notable problems that are of concern. Despite our relative prosperity, some people are still experiencing hunger or what is now referred to as food insecurity. In food insecure households, access to food is limited by a lack of money or other resources. The U.S. Department of Agriculture defines 2 levels of food insecurity for households: low food secure and very low food secure. Is this a solvable problem? What are we doing about it? Stay tuned. We have someone who can give us valuable information about positive programs that help relieve some of this most troubling situation.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
The Northeast Iowa Food Bank began a capital campaign in 2008 to replace its then inadequate facility. Construction of the new facility began in 2012 and was completed in 2013. In the first full year of operation at the new facility, the Northeast Iowa Food Bank distributed 6.2 million pounds of food, surpassing its 2014 goal of 5.5 million pounds. That is the largest number of pounds in a year for the food bank, and thanks in part to the new building. And here to tell us more about the food bank is Barbara Prather, Northeast Iowa Food Bank Executive Director. So welcome, Barb. How are you?
Good.
I'm sorry, Barbara. I'm sorry.
Either one is fine. You're great.
Right.
It's good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and then how you actually became involved with the food bank.
Well, I became involved in the food banking industry in 1992 when I went out to Washington, D.C. and did a year of volunteer work at the Capital Area Food Bank there. After that year, I was hired full-time, and this position came open in 1999. And my husband and I decided that we didn't want to raise a family in the D.C. area, although we love living out there. We needed to get back to the Midwest. He was from Northwest Iowa. I was from Minnesota. And this position came open, and I applied for it. And 18 years later, we are still here, and I'm still very passionate about what we do.
Right. So when we hear people talk about hunger, but is there a hunger problem in your service area?
You know,
or we call it food insecurity.
it's known now as food insecurity, meaning people lack access to an adequate supply of food.
Right.
And so in Northeast Iowa, there's about 48,000 food insecure people. It's about one in 7 people.
Wow.
But 1 in 5 kids,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right.
And that's the sad part, is there's so many kids that are affected by it. And so our job is to make sure that people have access to an adequate supply of food. You know, there are a lot of food deserts, areas that don't have grocery stores, and we work with communities to ensure people have access.
Right, and you can even take in even more goods for people as well with this brand new facility, right?
Correct.
So tell us more about.
You know, we've been there now just over 4 years, and in that time, our distribution increases every single year. We've gone from distributing 4.5 million pounds of food right before we moved in to this year, we're on track to distribute well over 8 million pounds.
Oh, wow.
To our member agencies and programs, it will probably be well over, close to 7 million pounds alone. And so what we do, we can't do without community support because most of the food is donated. We do purchase some for our backpack program, but most of the food is donated. And it's usually product that's still perfectly good, but for whatever reason, it's not saleable. And our job is to bring it in and distribute it out. And we've just released our strategic plan, and our goal is to really fill the meal gap, and the meal gap is defined as what the government can't provide through all their nutrition programs. Currently, Northeast Iowa is providing about 6.5 million meals, which is what we provide as well as what the community provides. Our goal by 2025 is to completely close that and keep it closed.
Right, and you mentioned a couple seconds ago something called Backpack. Can you
Yep.
tell us about that?
Our backpack program started probably about 12 years ago now at 5 Waterloo schools, serving 100 kids and providing them with a bag of food on weekends because we knew a lot of kids didn't have enough food in their house on weekends. It's now grown to 137 schools, and we're serving 5,000 kids every week during the school year with a bag of food. I believe in the last year we provided about 150,000 bags of food to kids at these schools.
Wow.
And it's all privately funded. Our partners through the Community Foundation, through John Deere, through community donations, different events that go on to help support that program really do make a difference. But it's to ensure that kids have food on weekends.
Right. And so when we're talking about kids, there's also a program, Kids Cafe,
Correct.
I believe.
Yep. Kids Cafe started in 2000 in a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club right here. We're now at 5 sites during the school year where we provide a nutritious meal to kids who are at those programs. A lot of time those kids are there till 8 o'clock at night, and they'd have lunch at school. And now we provide the snack and the meal to them. And it's a nutritious meal that kids can have access to so they get 3 meals a day.
And you had mentioned also of partners and support, and you have what is called a member agency.
Yep. Food banking started really because there was all this food waste, but yet the food was still perfectly good. And the idea is that while a small food pantry can't bring in a tractor trailer load of product, you can bring it into a warehouse and then distribute it out.
Okay.
And so other nonprofit organizations, other food pantries, other churches who do community meals can then be member agencies of the food bank and have access to that product. A food bank serves organizations and programs and member agencies, and a food pantry serves people.
And what's interesting too, when we take a look at some of the areas we've talked about, when school is out, you have school kids. Some school kids, they know that they're going to be able to have a little bit of breakfast in the morning and have something at lunch. But how does this have an impact on them through the summer?
It has a big impact because during the summer, that's when our demand is at its highest, whether it's
Wow.
through our food pantry or whether it's through community meal programs, numbers go up. For the past, 4 or 5 years, we've partnered with the communities to provide the summer feeding program. And this Waterloo Schools has a number of programs, but then we supplement and enhance what they do.
Okay.
So if they have a site, we're usually not there. Sometimes they have a site, but they don't do it all summer, so we fill in the gaps.
Right.
This summer, I think we have 25 different summer feeding sites throughout the summer. And it's funded through the summer feeding program, as well as ConAgra Brands Foundation gave us a grant as well as community donations.
Right.
But then the other part of the summer is that we see a lot more demand in our food pantry locally. So while school's out, there's still a need, and often the need is bigger in the summer than it is in the winter.
Okay. And you have a mobile food pantry?
Right. We partner with communities outside of Blackhawk County that either don't have a food pantry or their food pantry in their community isn't open evenings and weekends.
So that's just a few of the communities, but
Right.
not necessarily local to the house.
not local in Blackhawk
Okay.
County.
And is there a program for seniors as well?
Yep, we partner with NEI 3A
Okay.
to provide senior boxes, which to homebound people. So we put boxes of food together, deliver them to senior sites, and then they distribute them out to homebound seniors. And then we put bags together similar to the backpack program, where we drop those off at senior centers, and seniors in need can then have a bag of food for the
So-
weekend just to supplement what they have.
So you cover every gamut. But
Mm-hmm.
just lastly, though, who is able to take advantage of this? Who's eligible?
It depends on the program.
Right.
If it's the backpack program or Kids Cafe, it's kids, obviously.
Right.
If it's seniors, it's seniors. Our pantry is open to everyone. It really just depends on the program that the person is looking for. So the best thing to do is check out our website, www.northeastiowafoodbank.org, and that has all the information and can connect people with how they can get help through those programs.
So if I didn't have access to the internet, how could I contact?
Call the food bank, 319-235-0507,
Okay.
and we'll answer any questions people have.
Okay, all right. Barb, we want to thank you, your staff, and the many volunteers that help fulfill your mission to provide nutritious and nutritious food and grocery products to nonprofit organizations and individuals, while also offering hunger education programs to the area and those in need. Your program is universally considered among the best of its kind, and I would like to remind folks that you can be a part of the solution. Volunteer opportunities at the food bank are always available. Contributions of any amount are always welcome as well. For example, $1 helps provide 4 meals. How can one find out more about the food bank?
Go to www.northeastiowafoodbank.org or call 319-235-0507.
All right, thanks again, Barb.
Thank you.
Some have said that there is nothing in Waterloo for our youth to do. Perhaps those that hold this view should open their eyes as the community offers many activities for our young people to both learn and play. Just one such place is the Phelps Youth Pavilion in the Interactive Children's Museum at the Waterloo Center for Arts show. With us, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Explore all of this and more at the Phelps Youth Pavilion in downtown Waterloo, where art launches a world of wonder, discovery, and learning.
Among the exceptional activities in Waterloo is a world-class water park, great city pools, deck hockey, just one of the many organized sports for kids' playgrounds, lessons, and coaching in virtually everything. However, there's another great gem to capture the imagination and learning of even our youngest children. And to tell us more about this fantastic, arguably world-class facility, the Phelps Youth Pavilion, is Amy Garretson, Phelps Youth Pavilion Manager. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you very much.
How are you today?
I'm well.
Well, tell us, how did you wind up in a wonderland of youth activities?
Well, I was fortunate enough to study at the University of Northern Iowa, where I studied theater, communications, and education.
Oh, wow.
So I was very busy. I graduated with a degree in theater for youth, basically playing pretend with kids.
Okay. I won't say that's like my job because I'm serious. I'm serious all the time. But anyway, how did the pavilion even come into existence? How did it come to be?
So 2 really large expansions happened towards the end of former director Cami Scully's terms. The wonderful River Loop Amphitheater and Expo Plaza, and the Phelps Youth Pavilion, which had its first year in the 07-08 school year, around 2008. So we're almost celebrating 10 years of being in our community, which is really cool.
Right.
And yeah, there just needed to be a really special place for kids and families to go and learn and spend family time together. And the Phelps Youth Pavilion definitely fills that need and is a great place.
So let me ask you a question. So we'll talk about youth in just a second. But before then, are there any activities or exhibits for adults?
At the Waterloo Center for the Arts, absolutely. We currently have on display the Artists of Iowa, so artwork created by all Iowa artisans, very popular. We also happen to hold the world's largest singly held collection of Haitian artwork.
Say that one more time.
Haitian. It means artwork from the country of Haiti. We have over 1,200 pieces in that collection.
And go even back before then. We have the
largest singly held collection in the world of artwork from Haiti.
And that is right in our Waterloo Center for the Arts.
Yes.
That's excellent. That's excellent. But as part of the Center for the Arts, are there activities that center on art? You just mentioned the art collection, but are there things that people can do artisy? Is that a word?
They can practice their artistic skills and learn new artistic skills. We do have camps and classes. We do offer classes for youth, which I'll talk a little bit more about, but we have classes for teens and adults as well. So if you're an adult and you want to come by, sign up for a class. We have stained glass, metal smithing, painting, drawing, sculpture making. If you want to build something cool.
And we forget about no one, because are there activities for toddlers?
Absolutely. We do have guests as young as 2 years old, classes for ages 2, 3, and 4. Our doodlers, scribblers, our preschool Picassos. They're getting in there, getting their hands dirty, getting messy, working on those fine motor skills, which means grasping, pinching, all the things that the little ones need to work on.
I think I probably need to start at the toddler portion with my drawing abilities. So don't hold that against me. I didn't campaign or run on my ability to draw.
Scribbles are beautiful. You can scribble away.
Oh, doodling. I could probably, is that an art form, doodling?
Doodling, it means you're just kind of letting it flow. You're just kind of drawing. You're just kind of doodling. So when you doodle on a paper, in a meeting or in class, you're a college student, that's actually expressing creativity. You're not paying attention. You're just kind of letting it flow.
All right. So maybe that'll be worth something one day. Is there a cost to getting into the pavilion?
The Phelps Youth Pavilion does have an admission. It's just $5 per person. Children under 1 year of age are free. We do have a really exciting happening once a month. The third Thursday of the month is our Dollar Day. So just like the name sounds, it's only $1 per person to get in. We're open late till 8 p.m. And on Sundays, it's only $3 per person. So we have all kinds of different price points. So everyone in the community can come play.
What about memberships?
We do also have memberships. We have membership forms available at the center. They look just like this. And they're available in a wide range of prices. Our most popular, $100, whole year. You can come as many times as you want.
Wow.
With your family, up to 5 people. Come for 20 minutes. Come hang for 3 hours.
Wow.
That's a really great option.
And with that, you said the benefits are you can go for the entire year. You can bring your entire family. So
You also get 20% off on classes, camps. Our gift store can get discounts on gifts and products too. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have some, so you can also do birthday parties
Yes,
here as well?
absolutely. You can also book your child's birthday party. We have different packages there. You get admission to come play as a family in the Phelps Youth Pavilion, private room rental. You can bring in food, whatever food you like. It's kind of a nice option to come mess up our place. Don't mess up your own home. Come play with us.
I am absolutely in favor of that. And did you mention all of the classes or workshops you have?
Around town, we have these wonderful purple brochures. You can also pick them up at the Art Center. And inside here, you will find all the information you need about our classes, our camps, happenings, concerts, events, everything. Jam-packed.
Gift store? You have a gift store, I believe?
We do. We do have a gift store. Artisan-made bowls, dishes, wall hangings, books, just about anything you'd want to take a little piece of that experience home with you. Yeah.
And I think I heard of a Friends of the Arts memberships too. Friends of the Art Center memberships.
A Friends of the Art Center is a committee or board who's kind of like our booster club, made up of community members that help us out in our art openings. They also sponsor a scholarship for high school students for the area. So if you have a high school student at home who's interested in majoring in art in college, look for that next spring. We just awarded them just recently. So yeah, they're a great group.
And hours of operation?
10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Those
Tuesday through Saturday. And then 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. And again, the dollar day that I mentioned, that's 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And now, if someone wants to volunteer, are there volunteer opportunities?
Absolutely. We're always looking for people to help out with the kiddo classes as well as adult classes, camps. If you love music, we host a series called River Loop Rhythms. Always looking for people to come help out with those.
So it seems to be a ton of different things taking place in the Center for the Arts and the Youth Pavilion as well. Is there anything else you want the public to know about it? Any other materials that you want us to know about?
I would say just visit our website. Look, Waterloo Center for the Arts on Facebook. We are really good about updating that Facebook feed. Anything you want to know that's coming up. Basically events for, the little ones, all the way up through our retirees in the community. Something for everyone, I'd say.
All right. So something for everyone. Amy, thank you for giving us some insight to this great facility for kids of all ages. And I encourage anyone who has not yet visited the Phelps Youth Pavilion to not hesitate to do so soon. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this message.
Launch your kids into a world of wonder, discovery, and learning at the Phelps Youth Pavilion at the Waterloo Center for the Arts. Your child will design and build their own dream house and so much more. Get to the Phelps Youth Pavilion where art launches a world of wonder, discovery, and learning.
Looking for something to do? During this great spring and summer weather, there is so much going on indoors and outdoor in Waterloo. For entertainment, shopping, eating, and more, go to travelwaterloo.com for complete listings of so many exciting activities, places, and venues. And you can also find much of this information on the new City of Waterloo website, and that's cityofwaterlooiowa.com under the Visitors tab. Well, that's our show. We welcome your suggestions, feedback. And remember to tell others that these episodes are available for viewing from the new City of Waterloo website. Once again, cityofwaterlooiowa.com. And you will see the show's YouTube link prominently displayed on the home page. Please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart for the City. Until then, I think you will all agree it's a great day to be in Waterloo.